I was sort of busy preparing some text and notes. All right, Indonesia, who is recording? Francisca, you are going to record, right? Francisca, I think so. I think Francisca's recording. Correct, Francisca? Can you say something?
Hello. My job
Yeah.
is to record.
Who?
Recording. So the translator is Mbarini.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're recording. Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan, Francisca is going to do recording.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start our session with the prayer. Okay, so I'm going to start. Can I ask for Gekling to help with the prayer? I'm going to show my screen.
Okay, sure. Thank you, teacher. Okay. Sasi Buki Jok Seng Medo Tram Rirap Ling Si Ite Gepadi Sangge Situ Mikte Wagi Dokun Namta Singla Cuma So Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamiyata Yami Sangge Chudang Soki Chok Nam La Jang Cho Badu Dakni Kap Fuji Daki Jin So Tunge Sunam Ki Rola Penche Sangge Rupa So Sangge Chudang Soki Chok Nam La Jang Cho Badu Dakni Kap Fuji Daki Jin So Tunyen Sunam Ki Rola Penche Sangge Rupa So Sangge Chudang Soki Chok Nam La Jang Cho Badu Dakni Kap Suji Daki Jin So Tunyen Sunam Ki Rola Penche Sangge Rupa So. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. So to start today's session, I would like to show the website, the platform. It is on now. It is up now. So I don't know how many of you have went in there, but I have posted the instruction in the Telegram, right? So while it's a bit not too direct, because this is a very secure platform. Secure means it is safe, right? So you need to create an account, and before that you need to agree to the, because I'm using Moodle Cloud, so you need to agree to the privacy notice and the cookies policy, fill up your details, and then you will receive an email and you need to confirm your new account. After that, you go in, you need to select the course, right? You need to select the course, and then you need to enter the enrollment key. Yeah, you need to enter the enrollment key. So that will make sure that only people in our group can come in. Otherwise, we worried. I mean, I don't want spam people who are not here to come in anyhow, right? And then once you're on the platform, you can start doing your homework. Quiz, I think you can do maybe next week. Yeah, I think you can do quiz next week. So just attempt to do the homework first, right? So this is the platform. Let me know if you have any questions, right? And all right. Okay, now let's review a bit of what we learned yesterday, okay? And I actually used the reading, and in fact, it was quite fun to me. Okay, I love the reading. So this is the reading, and then you can find this reading in the Moodle Cloud, in the DMO Dharma platform, and you can actually read yourself, right? So reading for class 1, you can see the reading, all this in black, in bold fonts are the root text. Root text means the text by J. Tsongkhapa. So all these are the root text by J. Tsongkhapa, translated to English by Geshe Michael. If you would like to read the Tibetan, right, I have another version that is also quite fun. So let me show you my version, right? Maybe I should just show my desktop. So let me show you my desktop. You can actually, let me show you. This is actually from our ACIP, our ALL database. Inside the database, we have the ACI course, right? In the ACI course, so I have the readable format. I have the Tibetan written in ACIP format, so you can actually read them. Oh, this is too big, right? Wow, this is so big. Let me make it smaller. All right, it's quite visible. So in this, we have all the Tibetan in the ACIP format, so you can read them. Yeah. Gyalwe sungrap kungi ning poiden gyal sedampa nam ki ngak telam kelden tandu nam ki juk nude jitanu sindak ki separcha. So if you want this version, you can ask from me. I can help you, right? Okay, now let's continue with our text. So, and then after the root text, we have the story. We have the introduction story written by Ken Rinpoche Geshe Lobsang Tachin. Yeah, and this is a very interesting story. Please find time to read. Okay, it's about his childhood when he was young, when he was 7 years old, when they were disturbing Geshe Lobsang, their classmates, and then how he was pretending to be a nice boy, and all his friends were scolded by the house tutor, you know. And then how he met Pabongka Rinpoche when he visited back, when he came back to the monastery. Story about Pabongka Rinpoche, who is a reincarnation of the Chankyal line, including Chankyal Ronpa Dorje, yeah, who is the teacher of the Chinese emperor. And then a story about how Pabongka Rinpoche grew up and how he became famous. And then all the way until, oh yeah, and this is a very interesting part that I highlighted here. So when Pabongka Rinpoche came to visit the Serame, and he would stay in Gyalrong house because this is his origin, right? So this is his origin. So in private conversation, Pabongka Rinpoche was in the habit of constantly attaching quite right to everything he said. So when he met Pabongka Rinpoche, Rinpoche put his hand on Geshe Lobsang Tachin's head, and he said, quite right. And he added, now this one looks like a bright boy. He was actually a very naughty boy, didn't like to study. But the moment he got this blessing from Pabongka Rinpoche, he felt that he received some special power to pursue his studies. And because of that, he became very smart. Okay, and then, so these are the story, right? And then we went into the story of how Pabongka Rinpoche passed on, and then the second reincarnation, and then and then we went into the Lord Tsongkhapa, J. Tsongkhapa's story. He was born in 1357, and then from a district called Tsongkha. That's why his name is Tsongkhapa. Yeah, Tsongkha means the what do you call that? The Seng Tao, Suan Tao. What do you call that? No, is it onion? No, is it, huh? Garlic. Yeah, it's garlic. Yeah, and then yeah. So this is his story, right? And then how he went about his study, and then he went to learn from many masters, and how He started all his lineage teaching his students. He wrote his books, the students writing the book. It's very interesting story. So please find time to read. Okay, it's very fascinating. And finally, we talk about the text itself, Lanso Namsum, which was written for Ngawang Dappa, yeah, also Tsako Wongpo. And yeah, basically what I told you yesterday, the story came from here. So you can read yourself, you can become familiar, and it will become a very interesting, fascinating story when you have time to tell people, okay? So that is reading 1. Reading 2, we went into the preliminary, the starting. Yeah. So basically it's talking about why we learn the 3 principal paths, the reason. Actually, I highlighted some of the interesting text right here. The 3 principal paths are like the main beam that supports all the rest of the roof. So it's like the main beams, right? Your mind must be filled with these 3 thoughts if you hope to practice any Dharma at all, whether it is open teaching or secret teaching. So these 3 thoughts must be in your mind when you practice. Yeah, if you want to call what you are doing Dharma. A mind caught up in renunciation leads you to freedom, and a mind filled with the hopes of becoming a Buddha or bodhicitta brings you to the state of omniscience, and a mind imbued with correct view finally serves as the antidote for the cycle of life. So we need all these 3, yeah, to be complete. Now we talk about merits and non-merits, virtuous and non-virtuous, right? So we will take birth in the life of misery, meaning this disaram, when we do non-virtuous deeds, or we call it non-merits. Now, if we will only be, so that is life of misery, meaning that the 3 lower rebirth, 3 lower realms, right? The deeds of merit will only lead us to the birth as the upper 3, the man, yeah, and the pleasure being, yeah, human and the pleasure being. Now, and all these deeds, yeah, and the invariable means non-shifting, right? Non-shifting. So we have this shifting seeds and non-shifting seeds. Non-shifting seeds will bring us as far as the beings in the form and formless realm, right? So these are limited. We don't want all this. We don't want all this, okay? We don't want all this. What we want is to get into the higher than all this. In fact, all these are still inside the wheel of life. You can pretend to practice anything, you know, the channels, the winds, the drops, the great seal, the great completion, the creation, whatsoever. You know, you can practice all the rituals, all the initiations available out there. But if you don't have the 3 principal paths in your thought, each of those profound practices, profound means deep practices, can only bring you back to the cycle of birth. Okay, got it? So no matter how much fantastic teaching or practices that you are learning, practicing, if you don't have these 3, they can't even begin to lead you to freedom. Okay, they will only bring you back to this wheel of life. So these 3 are very, very important. All right. And Geshe Puchongwa. Geshe Puchongwa, I think, is, if I'm not wrong, is one of the student of this Lord Dom Thompa, who is a student of Lord Atisha. Okay. So Geshe Puchongwa asks Chengawa, right? Let's say on one hand, you could be one of those people who has mastered all 5 sciences. We are going to talk about these 5 sciences later. So let's say you are very smart. You learn all the sciences. You can have a very strong single-pointed concentration of shamatha. A lot of people want to gain shamatha. I want to learn meditation in such a way that I can get into shamatha. And someone who has all the 5 types of clairvoyance. Clairvoyance means you can see far, you can hear far, you can read people's mind, you know what is going to happen, etc. and also experience all the 8 of the great attainments, meaning you are very accomplished. And let's say, on the other hand, you could be a person who has yet to gain any full realization of Lord Atisha's teaching, meaning the Lamrim teaching, right? But who nonetheless has developed such a firm recognition, meaning that although you have not learned everything, but you have understanding that this is the truth and nothing else can change your mind. Which of the two would you choose to be? So Geshe Puchunga asked Chengawa, right, his student. Chengawa replied, Master, leave alone any hope of realizing all steps to Buddhahood. I would rather even to be a person who had just begun to get some gleam of understanding about the Lamrim. Okay. Why? Why would this be my choice? In all my lives to now, I've been a master of everything. What I have just mentioned, everything, right? The sciences, the everything, countless times. Gained shamatha countless times. Can sit in meditation for an eon, meaning that can sit for very long, many hours of deep meditation without moving, full concentration. Or all the clairvoyance, 8 great attainments. Yeah, but only with all those, I am still inside the will, the circle of life. Never have I risen above it. Yeah. But if I were able to gain a realization of the steps to Buddhahood, the Lamrim that Lord Atisha taught, I would surely be able to turn from this on of birth. So you see how powerful is this 3 principal path, or Lamrim, and specifically 3 principal path. Suppose you fail to devote some part of your practice to thinking over the various problems of cyclic life and different benefits of freedom from it, right? Suppose you don't have renunciation. You don't sit down and meditate, keeping your mind on trying to open your eyes so you don't try to develop your renunciation, right? Yeah. And let's say you go out and try to develop a skill in some great virtuous practice. So all these refer, perfection of giving, etc. All these refer to the Bodhisattva vow, right? All the 6 perfections. It does not matter at all. None of it can ever lead you onto the state of freedom. So renunciation is very important. People who really long for freedom, people who really want freedom, right? They need to, here mentioned, they should first forget all those other deep advices. They should develop renunciation. Now, let me ask you, what did we talk about renunciation? What do we talk about renunciation yesterday? Renunciation means I have enough. I don't want this life of not being a success person. And therefore, I tell myself I need to learn to plant seeds. That is renunciation. It doesn't mean that, hey, I'm tired of this life. I want to take my life. No one ever says that, okay? You know, in Singapore, last night, there was a policeman, 29 years old, committed suicide. That's very sad, you know. Those are people who took the message wrongly, okay? Or I don't know what happened to the policeman, 29 years old, committed suicide, bang. So no, that is not renunciation. Renunciation means I have suffered enough by not understanding how to plant seeds for my life. Now I decided I want to learn the seed system properly and to plant seeds for my success. I hate this life of not knowing seed system. I hate this life of not knowing how to plant seeds for my own success. I hate this life of relying on my luck only. So renunciation means I want to learn the seed system and plant the seeds to create a beautiful life for me. Renunciation. Bodhicitta means I want to use the seed system to create beautiful life for everybody. Yeah. So this is the message of renunciation. Virtues performed the other way. Yeah. So virtues performed without renunciation will only bring us to lower enlightenment. All right. So it's very important first to have fluency in the attitudes of renunciation and bodhicitta. So therefore, we need to set aside, all those. So for the time being, set aside all those whatever profound practice, secret teaching, and whatever, but focus on the three principal path. Very important. Again, I mentioned I quote this text. If you practice all those things without the understanding of the three principal path, you will not be able to gain much benefit. You will still come back to this wheel of life. Whereas our objective is to get out of this wheel of life, right? And if you have these attitudes of understanding the three principal path, every single virtuous act you perform leads you to freedom and the state where you know all things, meaning that the omniscience. All right. So this is, and then we talk about the method and wisdom. We talk about that already, right? Method are renunciation and bodhicitta. Wisdom is the correct worldview. And method will lead to collection of merit. Wisdom will lead to collection of wisdom. And collection of merit will help us. And these two are these two will create the two bodies of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Rupakaya and the Dhammakaya. Right? So very important, we must start from renunciation first. And then from there, we proceed to the bodhicitta and the correct worldview, right? All right, so that is basically, reading one. Okay, and here again, Lord Tsongkhapa, Jit Tsongkhapa mentioned, I use the lamp on the path, meaning Lam Rim, as my basic text. Yeah, and made these three the very life of the path. Three means the three principal path, right? Let me see what else. So this is reading 2. So 3 problems of the pot we discussed already. The pot, the cup which is closed, not paying attention. Yeah, so there is no no water can go in. Pot which is dirty, meaning that we have a wrong motivation. Yeah, means the water will be contaminated. And then pot with a leaky bottom. Yeah, meaning that we can't retain what we are being taught. Okay. And then how we should listen to the teaching, we should use the 6 images for instruction. So this is the metaphor of a patient and the doctor and the medicine, right? So how should we listen to the teaching? We think ourselves as a patient with our negative emotion, that make us sick. And then think of the Dharma as the medicine, think of the teacher as the master physician. And this teaching, think of following the teaching exactly as long as needed, just like when we follow the doctor's order, right? To take what medicine, to rest, to eat healthier food. Think of the Buddha as infallible or infallible one, as our teacher. Think of the Buddha as the Buddha, right? And pray that this great cure, the teaching of the Buddha, may long remain in the world. 5 types of clairvoyance that we mentioned just now: supernatural powers of emanation. Emanation means you can go anywhere you like. Sight means you can see very far. Hearing means you can hear very far. You can know the past, perception of the past, and you can know what other people are thinking. Great attainments are gain the sword, meaning that you can travel anywhere. Have the peel, meaning that you become invisible or change your form. Eye ointment means you can see very small or very far object. Swift feet means you can travel at high speeds. Taking essence means you can live. You don't need to eat anything to live. Skywalk means you can fly. Underground means you can go through the solid ground, right? All these are clairvoyance. So this is again the same. Lord Tsongkhapa was replying to Manjusri about why he used the three principal path and Lamrim as his basic text. And then there are two traditions, far-reaching and the profound, right? Far-reaching refers to the bodhicitta, profound refers to the wisdom, correct view. And this is like the two wings also, right? And through Lord Atisha, we receive these two lineages through Lord Atisha. And Lord Atisha received this through his two teachers, his two main teachers, right? And the bodhicitta, he got it from Swarnadwipa, right, which is in Indonesia. All right, so that is reading 2. Okay, let's go to reading 3 and 4, our class 3 and 4. Maybe we should go through our PowerPoint first, right? So while waiting for the PowerPoint, do you have any question? So we just reviewed class 1 and 2 yesterday. Class 3 and 4. Here it is. Okay, let's start. Okay, class 3 is about how to take a Lama. This is the basic of the Golden Rule meditation. So in Golden Rule meditation, we invite our teacher, right? And this Lama refers to our teacher. And this teacher can be anybody who can help us learn something. But this Lama here refers specifically to our Dharma teacher, right? So importance of a teacher. Bad teacher can mess you up. If we are not careful, if we don't verify them carefully, not only they will mess up our life, but our future life also for thousands of years, right? Meaning that bad teacher will introduce the wrong virtues with irreversible consequences. And they will also teach us the wrong worldview, which will give us a result that we don't like. In fact, Lord Atisha, the story went through a sea, across the sea, from India to Sumatra, Swarnadwipa, to search for Lama Serlingpa, Dhammakirti Lama Serlingpa, right? He traveled for 12 months. And when he arrived, he spent 2 months observing his teacher. Yeah, we went to Jambi. We went to the place where Lord Atisha lived for a while, and we could see that the sea was not too far. So we were there and trying to visualize why could he be staying for 2 months while observing his teacher. The story was also very interesting. It's also in the Lamrim collection, right? We should invite Gibson to share with us more on Lamrim because he's translating this book. Yeah. By the way, thanks again to Gibson for translating for Chinese. And today Indonesia is Rini and Ivor is Vietnamese. Right. So what to look for in a Dharma teacher? And we are taking the information from Sutra Lamkara by Master Sangha, right? Or actually by Lord Maitreya and written by Master Sangha, right? So there are 3. First, we have these 3, and these 3 are basically the, what do you call that? The 3 basic mental qualities, right? These are the mental qualities of a teacher. So it refers to tame morality, mindful concentration, and wisdom. Full calm abiding refers to wisdom, right? So basically we talk about the morality, concentration, and wisdom. Yeah. 戒定慧. In Chinese, it's called 戒定慧. Yeah. So all the three baskets, right? So morality. So a good teacher must be observing morality well. Must be observing morality well. In Tibetan, it's called Dulwa. Dulwa Dulwa basically means to tame, yeah. So morality is used to tame ourselves. And here it mentions that we need to tame ourselves first before we can tame others. So a good teacher has to observe, has to have a very good morality. Concentration refers to focus, right? Focus. Only when we can focus, we can observe our morality well. And then wisdom, this means, this near Siva means very calm. Yeah, Shiva means calm. Yeah, so this is a concentration. Near Siva, very calm means have a full wisdom. Okay, these are the three characteristics which are the mental qualities. The next three are the very good quality, exceedingly good quality, yeah, which are good knowledge of the scripture, yeah, good knowledge of the scripture, Longichuk, and then deep realization of suchness. Suchness is the code word for emptiness. So either the teacher has to have a DPE, direct perception of emptiness, or indirect perception of emptiness through books and through logic. Yeah. So a good Dharma teacher need to have this understanding of emptiness. Yeah. And finally, number 6 is the Huntan Lakpa, excellent spiritual quality. So they should have good quality more than the students, right? So we have 3 mental qualities, we have 3 good qualities, and finally we have the 4 qualities in the ways of teaching, yeah, in teaching. So the first one, a good teacher must be a master instructor. They need to know how to teach, when to teach, yeah, what to teach, and how to teach students at different stages, how to teach students according to the learning ability, status, and progress. Yeah, market and then image of love. So the teacher need to have a love and compassion. Need to have love and compassion. In fact, they are teaching because they have love and compassion for the students. Yeah. And this is a very interesting line. Right? Teachers can't wash away our bad seeds, can't take away our suffering, can't transfer what they know to us. The only way a teacher can help us to be free is to teach us the truth. So the teacher can only teach us, cannot take away our bad seeds. The teacher can only teach us how to do ourselves, to plant good seeds and to prevent bad seeds, to clean up the bad seeds. And then the last 2 are basically a great effort. Yeah. Chunche is Jingjin. Is that right? Jingjin, I don't know what it's called. Serious in the learning, effort, good effort in teaching, right? And finally, beyond this courage, Kiawapang, yeah. Committed to students even if there is a need to repeat the teaching many times. Okay, and non-shifting seeds. It's just a name, okay? It is explained in the Wheel of Life. So let's not talk about that because it will take very long time. It will take very long time. Geshe Michael spent, I think, like half an hour just explaining this concept to me. Okay, so yeah, non-shifting, yeah, it's a very good question. In fact, we talk a lot in Surabaya Intensive, I think in 2019, if I'm not wrong, yeah. All right, so these are the 10 good qualities of a teacher. Now, let's continue to, no, shouldn't. Okay, let's go to the text. Let's go to the text, right? Let's go to reading 3. Okay, reading 3. Reading 3 is also very interesting. Okay, how to take a Lama. Again, Geshe Potoa, right? Geshe Potoa is a student of Lord Dromtompa. So to reach liberation, so our aim is to reach liberation. Our aim, liberation means very, very successful, right? There is nothing more important than a teacher. You see, even in simple things in our life, with things that we can learn just by sitting down and watching someone, we still need somebody to show us, right? So if for simple things we need someone to show us, how on earth are you going to get anywhere without a teacher, without a lama? Yeah. When you want to go somewhere you've never gone before, and you have only just arrived from a journey through the lower birth. So this is very interesting, right? In fact, I think this is very deep also, you know. Our current birth as a human being is something very precious. Our current birth as a human being that did not happen too frequently. In fact, this is very precious. We don't know when were we born as a human? Yeah, maybe many million lives ago. And during that past birth as human and this birth, we have gone through many, many, many lives. So this human life is very, very precious. And we have just arrived to this birth as human through the lower birth. How can we go to liberation, enlightenment, somewhere that we have never gone before without any guidance from a teacher, a qualified teacher, right? Therefore, we are absolutely going to have to go and learn from a Lama. Just by reading Dharma books is not going to work. There has never been a single person in history who gained his spiritual goals without a Lama, just by reading books on Dharma. And it will never happen in the future either. Okay. Now, what kind of Lama should they be? It takes someone who knows every turn of the path just to get you somewhere you can reach in a single day. And for a Lama who is supposed to lead you to that path, you are going to need someone who has all the required qualities. It's important, it's very important to find a really qualified Lama. Just like Lord Atisha, it's not something you shouldn't care much about because you are going to end up like them, for better or for worse. The student comes out according to the mold, like those little clay tablets with holy images pressed into them. So it's very important to find a teacher, your teacher, right? Because you will end up like your teacher. If your teacher are no good, then of course you won't be good. But if your teacher is good, then you will be okay. If your teacher is good, you may not be as good as your teacher if you don't work hard. Okay, but to start with, you need to have a qualified teacher. Okay, that is very important. Okay, now we are going to talk about. We have already discussed characteristics of a qualified teacher, right? And yeah. So, okay, let's go through some more. So this is a very interesting reading. You should spend your time reading it, but let us read through some of the paragraph that I highlighted, right? So we need to be familiar with all the qualifications and then find out someone who has the qualifications. All right, whether the disciple turns out to have all the virtues, it depends very much on the quality that the Lama has. Yeah, so the disciple can only be as good as the teacher. Okay, so if your teacher is no good, you know how far you can go, right? You know how far you can go, right? So and then once you find your teacher who is capable of guiding us through the entire range of open and secret teaching, then we will become someone who is blessed. Okay. So I think this is very important, right? So all the 10 qualities, please familiarize, please get familiar, and then find your teacher. This is also very interesting. In a reference in difficult points to the black enemy, a person who doesn't treat as a lama, someone who has taught him so much as a line, yeah, one line, even someone who has taught us a line will take 100 births as a dog and then be born in the lowest of castes. All right. This is a bit scary, right? A bit scary. 100 birth as a dog. There is a story. Oh, do you? Oh, yeah. Okay, you're looking at my. Good. I thought you are not looking at it. Yeah. So I think there was a story. There was a story. Geshe Michael told us this story in the Wheel of Life translation. There is this student of Devadatta. Okay, Devadatta is Siddhartha's, Prince Siddhartha's cousin, and he was very smart, but he was full of jealousy. And when Prince Siddhartha became Buddha, he also wanted to be known as just like Buddha. So he created his own sangha. He had his rules, even more stringent rules, and he has his own disciples, right? And you know, there is this competition among the two sanghas, and each, well, of course, Buddha sangha is I would say more proper, whereas the other sangha are full of jealousy, you know. And one day, I forgot, Buddha has one disciple who has very high skills, right? He can actually run across the mountains, you know. So one day he was not careful. He was sort of flying across the mountains, and this disciple of Devadatta saw it and sort of complained to Buddha, hey, your student, your disciple, a very highly accomplished disciple, you know, with very good super ability, was running across the mountain just like monkey, jumping across the forest, the trees in the forest. And he was sort of mocking on that guy, you know. And Buddha just commented that, oh gosh, you just said something that will make you be reborn as a dog, as dogs in 100 lives. And this guy was so shocked. Oh gosh, did I say, oh, would that be the result? And he actually regretted it in front of Buddha and confessed his sin and apologized for his mistake. And because of that, you know, what happened was that he had to be reborn as dogs 100 times. And then after that, he was born in the lowest caste of India. But because he confessed his sin and apologized, after being reborn in the lowest caste, he was reborn. And then the life after that, he was reborn as a human, and he reached arahathood. So you know, sometimes we shouldn't look down on others. Sometimes, or we shouldn't mock others. Okay, we like to mock on people sometimes. You see, so and so is supposed to be a high practitioner, but and then we have all the negative comments, right? Okay, that is just some story to hopefully wake you up and not fall asleep. All right. Okay, I see a lot of videos are turned off. Okay, so hey, if you want to show me that you are not sleeping, turn on your video. Okay. Otherwise, I would assume that that you are sleeping. Oh, caste here means caste, you know, like the India, you know, you have many castes, right? Yeah. So still human, still human. All right. All right. And then yeah, seconds of anger toward your Lama destroy equal eons of virtue collected. It's kind of scary, right? A second of anger. Then bring equal eons in which you endure the terrible pain of hell and the rest. Yeah, so I don't have to mention too much. I think in DCL level 8, we learn about that. Yeah, I think Grace Westin just told me that he found his manual for level 8. Okay, so good luck to you. Read the manual slowly. Yeah, okay, I'll reply your WhatsApp later. Okay, Grace. I think Grace is in here, right? I just saw her turning on the video. All right, let's continue. So we talk about snap of a finger of anger, and then yeah, how many eons you have to suffer. Okay, let's continue. I think that's about all. Yeah, that is reading 3. Okay, let's look at some of the notes I highlighted. So eight great benefits of honoring your teacher, your Lama, is that you come close to Buddhahood, you please the Buddhas, you overcome evil influences, you avoid improper activities and thoughts, you reach high realizations, you always meet teachers in all your life, you never fall to the lower realms, and you attain temporary and ultimate goals with ease. Yeah, so this was written by Lord J. Tsongkhapa and also commentary in the by Pabongka Rinpoche, right? Okay, here there are many interesting stories about people who didn't honor the teacher, you know, in history, both good and the bad. So here, great Dromtompa. Dromtompa is a student, a very famous student of Lord Atisha, who is a merchant. So he is not a monk. Yeah, if you look at the Tanka of Lord Atisha, among his disciples, students, you will see somebody with long hair. That is Lord Dromtompa. Okay, normally when you look at the Tanka, all the monks are bald head, right? So for Lord Atisha Tanka, you will see somebody with long black hair. That is Lord Dromtompa, right? So this talk about how Lord Dromtompa served his master well, and he reached quite a good attainment. Yeah, and then Lord Milarepa, yeah, served his teacher Marpa well, and he also got a great attainment. And then yeah, about Marpa and Naropa, yeah, how he served his teacher, again received good attainment. And then here we have some of the negative stories, you know. Let me see. Oh no, this is good. Temparabge and Ngawang Chujor. Sakya Pandita is also a good story. Yeah. And near the end, we have some sad stories, okay? Yeah. Oh yeah, these are the premature death. 13 causes of premature death if we don't honor our teacher well. Yeah. So unbearable pain in the skull, injury by various powerful animals, different illnesses, demonic forces, plague, poison, authorities of the land, fire, snakes, water, spirits, thief, and fierce demigods. And after dying in one of these ways, the person descends directly to the hell, right? Okay, now all these are the sad story, right? Master Sangye Yeshe, this happened to be a similar name with another Sangye Yeshe who is famous, right? So this Sangye Yeshe is pretended not to notice his teacher, who is a pig herder. Okay, so he didn't honor it, and his eye fell from their socket. And then disciple of Geshe Nyusurpa also. Yeah, all these some sad story. Okay, okay. Now let's. That is class 3. Okay, that's class 3. So, well, I would like all of you to take my teacher as your teacher. Okay, my teachers are first of all is Geshe Michael. Okay. So Geshe Michael is your teacher. And also on top of that, or beside Geshe Michael, John Brady and Connie O'Brien are my teachers also. Yeah, so these trio are my main teachers. So I would like all of you to treat them as your teacher, all right? Yeah, you don't have to treat me like that, okay? But you just treat my teachers well, I will be more than happy, okay? So thank you. For the benefit of the translators, let's have a rest of 5 minutes. We come back at 8:30 for class 4, all right? See you soon.
No other, you're my lover. Yeah, you're my lover.